old young man, always in search of adventure, went to their lush, tree-filled garden on a warm summer day with his family to spend some time away from the hustle and bustle of the city in the tranquility of nature. Amir, who loved nature, was strolling among the trees, enjoying the cool breeze and the sound of birds. Suddenly, his eyes caught a large and strange stone next to an ancient tree. Driven by curiosity, Amir approached the stone and noticed something hidden beneath it. With closer inspection, he found an old book with a worn cover and ancient writings. Amir, who had always been fascinated by antique and mysterious stories, couldn't resist and picked up the book. He thought to himself that perhaps this book contained stories never read by anyone before, or maybe even secrets that could grant him powers beyond imagination. But Amir, knowing his parents would disapprove of such books and might forbid him from reading it, decided not to speak to them about the book. As the day came to an end, Amir and his family returned home. Amir hid the book in his room and vowed to open it at night when everyone was asleep, to delve into its secrets in the silence of the night. However, that night, when Amir opened the book, he realized the writings were in an unknown language with a strange alphabet. Unable to understand the words, he decided to use the moonlight streaming through his window to translate and comprehend the meanings. Amir spent hours reading and trying to translate, but the more he read, the more he felt the presence of something invisible and unknown in the room. He began to see shadows moving around the corners of the room and heard unusual sounds coming from the walls. Amir, now feeling terror and fear within him, didn't know if these were his own imaginations, or if something was indeed in the room with him. Amir, eager to uncover the hidden secrets within the ancient book, carefully turned the pages. Suddenly, his gaze was fixed on images that made his heart tremble. Several pages of the book depicted terrifying creatures with horrifying faces, as if they had emerged from the depths of darkness and the nightmares of another world. Amir, who had never seen such things before, felt his breath catch in his chest and his hands tremble. Beneath each image, there was writing in an unknown language with strange script. Amir, whose curiosity overcame his fear, began to read the inscriptions. With every word he read, he felt the room spinning around him and the ground shaking beneath his feet. The sound of his heartbeat echoed in his ears, and the world before his eyes blurred. Unable to hold himself up any longer, Amir fainted after 2 minutes. When he regained consciousness, he felt an odd chill and darkness. He opened his eyes and looked around, but what he saw froze the blood in his veins. The terrifying creature he had seen in the book was now standing right in front of him. Its red, glowing eyes seemed to stare at him with hatred and rage. Amir, now completely engulfed in terror, didn't know what to do. Was this reality, or a hallucination brought on by reading the book? Amir, still unable to believe what he was seeing, slowly got up. Amir, with fear taking root in his very being, asked the creature in a trembling voice, Who are you?" The creature replied with a voice that seemed to rise from the depths of the earth, "I am a four-dimensional being. My master is the devil, and I serve him. Now I wish to destroy you and please my master with this deed." Amir, now terrified not only of the creature but also of its words, was looking for a way to escape. But the creature, with swift and sudden movements, cornered him. Amir felt an invisible force pulling him to the ground, rendering him unable to move. The creature continued, "By reading those inscriptions, you have awakened me from a slumber of 1,000 years. Now, you must pay the price for this act." Amir, who had lost all hope of salvation, suddenly remembered the book. Perhaps there was a way to save himself within its pages. With all his might, he opened the book and began flipping through the pages. If you enjoyed it so far, please hit the subscribe button if you liked the video. Amir, still engulfed in fear, accidentally turned to a page, and his eyes fell upon a particular incantation. With trembling hands, he began to recite it. The words that left his mouth were accompanied by a mysterious and powerful force. As soon as he finished reciting the incantation, the creature was thrust backward with a terrifying scream and vanished into thin air. Amir, overwhelmed by intense fear and mental strain, fainted once again. When he opened his eyes, he found himself in a hospital. His parents, who were sitting beside his bed, looked at him with concern. A doctor standing by the bed told his family, "Your son has experienced a severe nervous shock due to immense fear, but now his condition is normal and he can be discharged." Amir, who still couldn't believe that these horrific experiences were just a nightmare, searched for the book. But the book had disappeared. His father told him that they hadn't found any book and that he should forget this experience. Amir, now in search of answers, decided to return to the garden and, Amir, with heavy steps and a heart full of anxiety, returned to the garden. The moonlight, filtering through the leaves, cast dancing shadows upon the ground that changed shape with every breeze. Amir, still affected by the events of the previous night, searched every nook and cranny of the garden meticulously. But the more he searched, the deeper the roots of despair grew within him. The book had vanished. He remembered the last time he saw the book was near a large stone. He went there and, with trembling hands, moved the stone aside. But there was nothing but soil and dry leaves. Suddenly, a soft, whispering voice reached his ears, a voice that seemed to come from the depths of the earth, drawing him towards it. Amir, now feeling the terror in every fiber of his being, moved towards the sound. The voice led him to an ancient tree in the middle of the garden. Amir, his breaths heavy, approached the tree and saw a faint light shining from a crack in the trunk. With hands shaking from fear, he opened the crack. Amir, still seeing the faint light emanating from the crack in the tree trunk, cautiously reached out his hand. Suddenly, his hand touched something cold and hard. To his surprise, it was a stone tablet engraved with strange symbols. At that moment, he heard footsteps. Turning around, he saw an old prayer writer with a calm and kind face approaching him. The old man spoke with a warm and soothing voice. "Amir, I have been waiting for you. The spell cast upon you must be broken." Amir, now hopeful for salvation, asked the old man how he could help him. The old man, who seemed to be knowledgeable about the secrets of the universe, took Amir's hand and told him they needed to recite a special incantation together. Hand in hand, they began the incantation. The words that came from the old man's mouth were filled with a spiritual power that enveloped Amir. The faint light from the tree's crack intensified, bathing the entire garden in a white glow. When the light subsided, Amir felt a sense of lightness and peace. The old man said, "The spell is broken." The old man then explained the story of the book to Amir. He said that the book was a compendium of ancient knowledge and powerful spells written by scholars and sorcerers of old. But over time, the book fell into the hands of the ignorant, and its spells were used for evil purposes. The old man added that by reciting the incantation, Amir had not only saved himself, but also prevented the book's spells from falling into the hands of malevolent individuals. With the old man's story coming to an end, Amir felt relieved. He returned home and decided to appreciate the peaceful and happy moment moments with his family instead of seeking mysterious adventures. And from that night on, he never had another nightmare, and his life returned to normal.